Ah, there it is, episode 2.
With Dan.
Whoops. We are on episode freaking 2. So, let's do this.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from
Dan
CBS
Rather.
News headquarters in New
Holy
York.
crap, it's Dan!
Good evening. Danger, war, killer, fraud, CIA, mayhem, crisis, horrible, inflation, military threat, the flaming debris, fatal heart attack, stress injuries, prison disaster, economic collapse, dangerous radiation, a tide of violence and human misery, a liar and an unremorseful killer. Communist international smuggling pipeline, starving victims, and how they die. Chemical weapons, carpet bomb deaths, tough FBI, kill and injure children, police conspiracy, negative attacks, discipline, sex and drinking binges, dying of a heart attack, dying of breast cancer, dying of a Japanese nuclear bomb, mountains of credit card debt, the mountain of cocaine, tons of cocaine, atomic bomb radiation experiments, unwitting test subjects, dangerous radiation, marijuana abuse, hooked on drugs. Time for us to bug out. Rock.
Time for us to bug out. It's at Evolution Control Committee, rocked by Rape for the little intro music there. I am Josh, and
The time
this
is
is
11:30.
Blunt Force Politics. It's 11:30 p.m. on the live stream. Why? Because that's how I like to record it. That way over the rainbow. Before I get anything else, I just got this little thing, little message from the old Donald J. Trump.
I think the Democrats have gone totally crazy, and you don't know what they're going to do because they don't care about the people. They don't. I really think they have no leadership. They have a lot of very low IQ people. Jasmine Crockett is a low IQ person. A lot of them are. I don't want to insult too many of them, but a lot of them are. They have no rudder. I don't think they know what they're doing right now. You know, they've never done this before. They always agreed to go and, called an extension. Let's do an extension and talk. Even today, look at what happened today. They don't want to pay the people that have worked. And, this was supposed to be this was a test. And they wouldn't pay the people that have been working. They said, no, we don't want to pay them. This is all the Democrats. Now, all we need is 5 Democrats. And I know a lot of Democrats that are saying they're more than 5. Probably not that many more than 5, but they're more than 5. And all we need is like 5 Democrat votes so we open our country again. Sad, though. We have the greatest economy in our history. We have the highest stock market. All these things are rocking. We will have by the end of my first year more than $20 trillion of investment. The all-time record is $3 trillion. I think it's China. We're going to have 20 or $21 trillion. We've never had anything like it coming in because of tariffs. The money pouring into our country, the plants that are opening, AI, automobiles, everything. And the Democrats want to close our country. They're really, they say deranged. They suffer. I guess it's Trump derangement syndrome, which I think is going down now as an official condition by the doctor.
It's gotta be official, man. Official this, official that, official Trump derangement syndrome out of the left is what we're seeing. This is where we go deep. The government shutdown has caused some real pain, but the headlines are being hijacked by TikTok lately. Like, what the hell? We'll see what goes on. All kinds of stuff going on tonight. What's up, patriots and truth seekers? Welcome to Blunt Force Politics. It's the show where we call out the elites, the clowns, and the hypocrites of American politics. Tonight, well, identity politics gone wild, welfare, TikTok freakouts, and one liberal candidate's mom flat out denying that he's even American. Well, we're diving in. You know the drill. Stay loud, stay real, drop your chat reactions, and let's get into the garbage. The top headline right now, I mean, aside from that little brief I had to play there from Trump, but there is a lot more caca going on, especially with Mamdani right now. I had a thing here. Oh, here we are. Ow. 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 You know, because this guy is all over the place. You know, dude's going to more than likely win the mayoral election for New York City, which, in my personal opinion, would destroy the city. If he was able to actually do everything he said he wants to do, it would 100% destroy New York City. Freezing rent, you know, government subsidized grocery stores, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, just like all these wild things that he can't really do anyway. But it's going to be interesting as they as he just tries. But this is what we have going on.
Socialists now, Democrats getting on board the Zohran Mamdani train. The smiling socialist making a final push before next week's election. And he says the government will save us all.
No New Yorker should ever be priced out of anything they need to survive. And we believed then, we believe today, we will believe tomorrow that it is government's job to deliver that dignity.
You're a dumb shit.
Dignity, my friends, is another way of saying freedom.
No, it's not.
Zohran's cheer squad was right next to him. Bernie Sanders hyping up free everything, and AOC saying, trust me, guys, we're not crazy.
We are not the crazy ones, New York City.
No, I'm just a bartender that sucked a whole lot of something to get to where I'm at now, just to say, hey, we're not crazy, but watch me portray crazy here.
We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
New York must have a mayor who represents the working families of this city, not the billionaire class.
I'd like to know how you represent the working families when you are one of the elites. You're not even an American, like, not naturally anyway. What the hell, man? They just pull these people out of their assholes, and then they kind of latch on. Sanders and AOC have nothing going on. They never have. They just whine from a pulpit all the time. And now they got somebody, well, let's hop onto this guy.
And other Democrats are starting to kiss the socialist ring. Hakeem Jeffries hopping on the bandwagon last minute. And Kathy Hochul was met with tax the rich chants at Mamdani's rally. Democratic whisperer Bill Maher says this election will define where the party goes.
This is not just New York that's on the ballot.
And I usually
think
hate
the
Bill,
whole
but
Democratic
he's
Party
right on this.
in the country is on the ballot, and the whole country will be looking at this race to see which way are the Democrats going to go. No, Andrew Cuomo may not be that exciting and that inspirational, but you know, for a party that said we want to get back to normal, he's kind of normal.
All right, Dana, what is your response
Where
to
do I
the Mamdani rally?
Where do I begin? Okay, so a couple things is, one, you notice that Mamdani, either he feels very comfortable.
This is a
in that
10-minute
crowd,
clip,
or
and I
he
do
feels
plan
like
on going
he's
through
got
the
a
whole
lock on
thing.
the election because his
If you don't
tone
like that
goes
kind of
back
news
to what
reporting,
his
then
usual is.
go back to your
For a
bullshit.
while now, I've been feeling like this guy is so empty, he can't really go further
is
than
important.
one step into a question or an answer to a question because he doesn't
The nation needs to know about this kind of stuff happening, not just
actually know the
not,
answer.
not just locally.
That crowd that they had, is there any other group of trio of Democrats that could pull together a crowd like this? And I have a feeling that these three will take it on the road, and their first stops will be South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Another thing is that AOC
We are off the grid.
was playing all the Kamala hits, right? We had fascists, extremists, Jim Crow. They've got a well-oiled machine, and if you think about who's competing right now for the elections next week, Mamdani has Bernie and AOC in this crowd. And Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger couldn't pull a crowd like that. They are getting Obama to come out for them. They had to figure out that because they are not exciting the base, and the base is where it's at right now. One other thing. In this event, Mamdani goes after Cuomo for living in an $8,000 a month apartment. And now, okay, Cuomo's an adult. He has made money. He chooses to spend his money on the shelter that of his choice, while Mamdani and his wife he was born wealthy. She's even wealthier. Yeah. And they choose to live in a rent-stabilized apartment.
Yeah. Because
this morning
it's less
I talked
money.
about how this race in New York matters to the country, because I promise this is coming to a city near you.
He's making
I
it
talked
sound
about
like
the
he's just one of the
Minneapolis
regular
mayor's
people,
race and then the
he's not.
Seattle mayor's race. I learned about
You
this.
can't
woman
grow
that's
up with a
running out there
shitload
as
of money
progressive
and then
Mamdani
kind of
type person.
pretend to
Her
put it
name's Katie Wood.
aside,
Grew up
put on some
upper middle
raggedy
class
jeans and
here
say,
in
hey,
New
I'm a
York.
regular dude.
Takes the Greyhound bus
Gavin
all around the
Newsom's
country.
trying
Where do
the
I want
same
to live?
bullshit
Okay, this is
right
where I want to
now.
live. She
And it ain't gonna
chooses
fly in
to live with her
California either.
husband in a 600 square foot rental with their baby.
With everything going
That's
on, we
her
could
choice.
see
And she
New
goes
York City
after
collapse and California
the
turn red.
diverse immigrant who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and worked his butt off and chose to buy a home at $1.4 million in a nice neighborhood in Seattle. And that guy is sitting there going, how can I be behind in this race? Wasn't I the one that you guys were championing? No, the new champions of the Democratic Party are the progressive left.
So, Jesse, it's always the Democrat elite who usher in the communist socialist ideology that they think is going to help everybody, but really it's about controlling the population. And they have a whole stable of these candidates ready to go. The Democratic Socialists of America are very organized. They have a lot of funding, and they're ready for this test case to be over so they can then go out and put these candidates in Democratic primaries all over the country to finally take over the party, and then, of course, to take over the larger aspect of politics.
Yeah, so communism's here because liberalism failed. The liberals poured millions of people into New York City. And what did that do? Make everything expensive. It drives up rent. It drives up food. It drives up insurance. No wonder everything's so expensive. They imported the third world here. So then they loan shark these kids into degrees of like women's studies, so they can't even afford a small, expensive apartment to begin with. And so communists come in and they say the government is going to fix the problem that the government created. Mm-hmm. And then he says government handouts are freedom and dignity. Now, you've heard that from some of the worst tyrants in world history, but the people who went to college never took Econ 101, never took history, so they don't even know. They're so oblivious to this guy is going to come in and do this. And I say, part of me says, you guys kind of deserve it.
Yeah.
So great.
Let it happen.
Like
they need the hard lesson.
Islamist.
That gives him too much credit.
Remember,
this
it
guy
took an event like
graduated
2001 and the
college
towers
with a
and
degree
everything to unite
in
the
Africana
country,
studies.
and it only lasted for a short time.
Like Latinx.
I have
They're
no
gonna have to
idea.
learn this
All I
right
know
now,
is
too.
he could very well be the mayor, and it's based on the politics of envy. That was a loud chant you heard there of tax the rich. The strategy is that's how you're going to pay for it. That's how you're going to get even. We're taking their money, and there's nothing we're all going to vote, and they're all going to pay. Mm-hmm. It is a spectacle that, I mean, if you're a businessman, a go-getter, a family, if you're here, you're going to think about leaving. If you're thinking about moving here, you should watch the tax the rich thing and say, I want to be rich. Do I really want to go there? Maybe I should go to New Jersey. I mean, it smells a little different, but they're not going to hang me in a park. What is your defense when you say I'm not crazy? It's because the stuff you say are crazy. When Zohran's talking about making bus fares free, have you ever seen what his argument is for that? He says it's because the box where you put the money, it makes the homeless people who come in feel very bad that they have to pay. So just remove the conflict that leads to violence against the bus driver. Just get rid of the bus fare, the toll box, and then all the stuff. That is the reasoning of a child. Well, how do you pay for how do you pay the income of whatever called the check? How do you pay the bus driver? How do you do? Where does the money go? How do you do this? It doesn't make any sense. But they're saying let's remove the cost because it makes the crook unhappy. Okay, well then why stop at the bus? Why not do the Apple store? You know, those earpods are really expensive. Why doesn't he say to the people out there, we're going to pay, all those earpods are going to be free. There's nothing Apple can do about it.
Well, I would vote for that.
Yeah, so would they, because they wouldn't think, wait, is that possible?
And then nobody will have anything. Harold, do you want to talk about the future of the Democratic Party?
So look, I would
Come on,
remind
Harold,
everybody,
say something
as
smart.
concerned as I am about this mayoral election here, and I will say I was to Dana's
It
point,
probably
I
won't
was
happen.
shocked here at the end of this race. Here we are, a few days into early voting. It appears that Mr. Mamdani has a pretty good lead. I would remind everybody, though, around this time, when the primary was being held, Mr. Cuomo had about an 8 to 10 point lead 12 days out and ended up losing the race. So this 10-point lead is certainly something that's surmountable. But he seems to be in a good position. I listened to him not only in that rally was a little different. I listened to some interviews of his and some speeches, some other presentations he's given Mr. Mamdani. He sounds decisively mad and divisive. Not uplifting, not unifying. I didn't hear any words. If you're about to become mayor or governor, an executive in a city or a state, nothing about safety, affordability, caring, pro-growth. All of us are going to do this together. This pitting of people against people is just unnecessary. It's not how you not how you win a race, but not how you start a term to be the mayor of the most important city, the biggest city, the most vital city in all of the world, certainly the United States, and I would argue all of the world. I hope he's able to figure this out. Now, I will remind everybody, we have two mayors in this country. Just a year ago, people talked about these cities as being irretrievably perhaps too far to the left. And I'm a Democrat, not a socialist. Philadelphia elected a woman named Sherelle Parker, who decided to go after criminals, decided to ensure that we prosecuted those. And there's a guy out there in San Francisco named Daniel Lurie, who's decided he's going to work with President Trump on issues that really matter and impact the city. That's the direction our party's going in the future.
Well, Mamdani.
I have to disagree, Harold. I think your party is going to end up taking this extreme step. It's going to be a hard-learned lesson, and it's going to basically,
He doesn't talk about
be
safety
a,
because he thinks crime
a
and
shit.
prison are.
It's going to be a shit sandwich for all those involved on that. So Mamdani, like, it said so many horrible things. He's openly socialist, like, which should already disqualify him, you know, from even like having his naturalization, especially the statements he made before, blah, blah, blah. There is some looking into that. Well, I can only hope in the next, 24, 36 hours or so, there'll be something back from the Department of Justice, either one way or the other. I don't care how it goes. I just like to get down to the truth of everything. But this is some stuff about Mamdani, his family, and this is like what people are seemingly going to vote for. But I don't think they know all this stuff.
So a lot of thoughts, of course, that are coming in, different viewpoints on Zohran Mamdani and the kind of comments that he's made, which we've shown you a glimpse of. Social media posts also now showing the Statue of Liberty in a burqa to kind of indicate that this is where New York City is headed. This is what's happened to New York City. Trump calling him a 100% communist lunatic, saying that Mamdani doesn't look good and he doesn't speak well either. These are the kind of comments that Donald Trump has had to offer on Mamdani. Let me bring in Gaurav Sawant on this broadcast for more. Gaurav, let's talk about what's happening in India and the controversy that's triggered, particularly the comment that we showed in our report of what Mamdani had to say about Narendra Modi, the 2002 riots. But when he speaks about how Gujarat has no Muslims, says people are surprised when I say that, I'm a Gujarati Muslim because they don't exist anymore. That's obviously just him trying to peddle a certain narrative. Having said that, Gaurav, the question really is, why do you think Mamdani is making these kind of comments about India? What's the relevance to a New York mayoral election? How does it cater to any vote bank?
Zohran Mamdani has emerged as a rather controversial candidate in the New York mayoral elections. Now, he has won the Democratic primaries. He is the Democratic candidate as of now. But his statements, even U.S.
Even like on their graphics, their screen, they're calling him 100% lunatic and all this stuff. And it just be like what you're doing in New York City is having this big effect over in India. He makes all kinds of other little implications along the way. I was gonna play there was a clip because I was trying to get into it. His own mother was saying, he's not even an American either. I mean, like there you have it. When your very own candidate whose roots span Uganda, India, and America, but his mom's saying he's not an American. Let's see here if I got it right. I think I got it right here from the New York freaking Post, of all places. Oh, son of a gun. Of course, you got to allow some ads on this place. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. New York Post. I give everybody a little fair shake on their news. Hey, you want to report bullshit and be inaccurate? I'm going to go talk about it. I'll cite you as a source, and if it's wrong, well, I say, hey, well, the New York Post on such and such a topic. That's really the problem. Wow, it's doing its weird thing. I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing. We're just going to have a white screen there for a moment. I think we should be good now.
Yesterday, Andrew Cuomo laughed and agreed when a radio host said that I would cheer another 9/11.
Of course you would.
Yesterday, Eric Adams said that we
Here he's going to
can't
make
let
the
our
most
city become
insensitive
Europe.
comment I can think of.
He compared me to violent extremists. And he lied again and again when he said that our movement seeks to
Holy crap.
burn churches and destroy communities. The day before that, Curtis Sliwa slandered me from the debate stage when he claimed that I support global jihad. And every day, Super PAC ads imply that I am a terrorist or mock the way I eat. Push polls that ask New Yorkers questions like whether they support invented proposals to make halal food mandatory, or political cartoons that represent my candidacy as an airplane hurtling towards the World Trade Center. But I do not want to use this moment to speak to them any further. I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt.
F you, F your aunt, who never even lived in the United States, by the way, during that
Who
time.
stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
What about all the people that did stop taking because they were dead? Because of people that supported
To
a
be Muslim
hijab.
in New York is to expect indignity. But indignity does not make us distinct. There are many New Yorkers who face it. It is the tolerance of that indignity that does.
It's freaking garbage. Just total lie garbage out of his mouth. He made all these statements, his aunt, blah, blah, blah. They didn't even live here, not during that time. It's like they're all wealthy, from wealthy places. For anyone to think that somebody from... If you think that if you're going out to work as a janitor or freaking fast food and that's how you're paying your bills, you think that somebody that can get a private jet on command is going to know what it's like to live in your shoes? Like, man, that's a freaking joke. I don't make that assumption. It doesn't matter what your political party is. Like that's just like, it's ridiculous to think that's going to happen. And that's basically what's going on here. Oh, I saw the big freaking roast tonight is the from TikTok, where it all kind of comes out of. This TikToker out there and shit, sharing people with EBT whining about, their food stamps and saying that there's gonna be all these problems. Well, that's what's up next. Welfare meets TikTok idiocy because the government shut down and worries about SNAP food stamps. Some TikTokers are threatening to loot grocery stores. Yeah, that's literally what I uncovered when I started really looking at this crap. It's crazy. So I got a bunch of, I mean, and it's not just like, oh, I just went and like I can kind of cherry pick some of
Y'all
these.
may call me cold-hearted for this, but if I knew this was the situation that my children were going to have to grow up in, I would have aborted them as soon as I found out I was pregnant.
Dude, that's the worst. How could you say that? You should have your children stripped from you and locked up. You know, man, sterilize these kind of people so that their bloodline won't continue to create horrid things like that. Here's another one.
No. Donald Trump, come to the front line, baby boy. Hi, I'm Donald Trump, and I want to make America great again. I want to build this. I built this country. I made this country, and we're gonna bring it back and bring it to the end of the world. I am Donald Trump, and I serve this country to the United States. Motherfucking ass. Y'all better reopen that government because I need my stamps. That's one thing y'all not finna do. Are you crazy, nigga? I live off of these stamps. Open that. I bet you one thing. I bet you by November. No, before November, you got a couple of days. I'm gonna give you to November 1st to open the shit up because I need my stamps and I need it now. Well, we ain't finna play them games, bro. Nah, open the government back up. I need my stamps, bitch. I live off them stamp hole. Like, no, I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all think I'm for real, but I'm for real, but I'm not, and I'm not playing. I'm for.
He ain't playing. He's for real. He live off them stamps. Looks like a better car than I've got. These people are freaking moron. This is the EBT of TikTok. This guy collected some great stuff. Here's another one.
What if we just like, I don't know. What if we just like overthrow the I don't know. I don't want to say the big G word, but what if we just like what if we do something about that? Like, what if we all come together and decide that, hey, we can actually do something about that because we have actually done things about that in history before?
No, they haven't.
You know? I mean, you like paying rent? You like that shitty ass job? No? Aw. You like what's happening to people right now in the world?
All these little thuggies need to go get jobs. You know, if you're completely sane enough to get on and make these kind of videos and you're not in any crippling way, you don't seem anything other than you're just lazy piece of crap, want to live off the tit, that's what work is for. You know, I hate to see that. I hate it. That I think this is, I needed food stamps too. Like, trust me, I'm on disability. You know, I can't work. And I see people like this that could work. If I was in their shoes, I'd be out working. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money working and paying for your food than you are sitting on your ass doing nothing and have the government pay. Like, dude, what? That's not how it's supposed to be.
And next week, when millions of people are going to have to resort to possibly stealing in order to feed themselves and their families, and the government complains, because they will complain about the crime rate going up, even though they're the ones who fucking did it. Make sure you point your anger at the system and the people at the top.
These are the people that need to be without freedom. They're the people that should be locked up. You know, like here's another one.
Why the fuck I just seen some shit that said Walmart gonna be closed, all we could do is curbside? We don't give a fuck, bitch. Walmart not the only grocery store, you dumbass hoes. Still looting, still stealing. Fuck Trump. It's crazy.
So if she's gonna still loot and steal, like, you're a criminal. You're a criminal. They're all criminals in the first place for even getting it. Like look at this girl, makeup, jewelry, clothing, but
so if you work in a grocery store, just know that you are still going to be paid that hourly rate, whether they steal that food or not. So mind your fucking business and be a team player.
Yeah, if you just witness people looting your store, you should just let them do it because you gotta be a team player. You gotta take one for the team. Well, like most of us play for the law enforcement team. I'd rather score a point for them. I see you stealing at some place like that, dude. Your ass is gonna go to jail. You don't need to resort to stealing. If you're really that down and out, they do have food pantries that are done on an as-needed basis. I'm not going to say every single one of them's plotted out and done and taking care of people correctly, but that's your main option. Talk to your churches and civic areas around there first. I do it myself. There's plenty of help like that out there. Might be a little bit constrained with the influx, but more just need to realize, go get a job. See, this is the evidence I think the rest of America needed. So keep making these videos, posting your anger out there, and admitting to the crimes you've already done and stuff, because that's what we need to see. I think more Americans really need to see this is where your tax dollars have been going. This is how it's been wasted and mishandled for stuff. This is the evidence of the people that are wasting and abuse the stuff Doge kind of missed yet.
Y'all, it's going to be looking like the purge out here pretty soon. It's going to be real bloody pretty soon. Y'all better watch
Gonna be
y'all
bloody.
surroundings. Make sure your kids are safe. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's going to look like the purge pretty soon. I feel it, y'all.
I think if it does look anything like the purge, it'll be more like the purge of criminals doing shit. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a wash of law enforcement coming down on them like the freaking plague. That's more like what it's going to be. And look, it's not running out. I'm not running out.
You know what? I have time today. I don't know who needs to hear this, but they're not going to open the government back up. It's not going to happen. Also,
just make that
the reason
look,
he's
man,
building
don't you
that
just want
ballroom
to punch
right
her
there
right in the
is to
fucking
renovate
forehead?
the World War II bunker that's underneath of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody that gave him donations to help build this ballroom.
See, it's mental illness is what's rampant with this. Okay, here we go. Here's another good example. So, by what this guy's complaining about, handing out ramen for Halloween because EBT's gone. Why are you wasting our tax dollars in the first place when you have food stamps to get it candy to give it away to kids? That's not what the food stamps are for, jackass.
I'm going to go to the store tomorrow and buy as many packs of ramen and mac and cheese cups as I can. And we're going to hand them out on Halloween. We're going to have candy too. But
somehow candy
yeah,
too.
We're going to hand out as much ramen and mac and cheese noodles as we can. On fucking Halloween. Churches should be handing out food like crazy. All these tax-exempt mega churches.
They just make shit up. It's like one they were playing a game of telephone with a bunch of mentally retarded people. Like, they just place a retard in between, like, every 10 people. And the same story just keeps going around and around and until it makes no sense whatsoever. Another one. These people are already basically admitting that they're just of criminal mind.
Walmart
Normal people don't think like
No
this.
Snitch November, they will be adding security guards to in-store locations. So
none of these
No
people
Snitch
have ever,
November just
in
became
all
help
of these
people
videos,
steal
I went through
November.
like
It just
probably
became
like
hold
60 of
security
them.
back November. It just
Nobody
became
says I'm
help
disabled, I have this
people
problem, I
live
have that problem. No, they're all just
November.
making
People
demands
deserve
flat
to
out
eat.
like this
I
son
don't
of a
give a
bitch.
fuck about Walmart's profit margins. I personally will hold back a security guard. I will.
Yep. This guy, Mr. Tough Guy. We should remember that. Mr. Tough Guy on the internet. He's going to hold back a security guard. At Walmart, too, mind you. It's like, yeah, here's another one.
They're defunding all the programs. Why are we paying taxes? If they're defunding
all of the programs, why are we paying taxes? If they're defunding all the
Like, so if she just repeats the same phrase, does that make the phrase even right? They're not defunding like that, and the taxes aren't why, like, the programs aren't why you pay taxes. You pay taxes no matter what. Tax part, your payment is automatic. It's always going to be there. That's what they don't understand. There's mandatory stuff that never shuts down during a shutdown that gets paid for, you know. But they don't educate themselves. Again, they just, like, they come so close to being able to do something, and then poof, wham. They're just like, well, they want to invoke. This guy's claims they're doing it to invoke the Insurrection Acts. You know, it's crazy how many of them out there, and what's going on with this stuff.
We got to talk about this crisis that we are about to go through. We are already in a mental health crisis. Now we're about to be in a food crisis. Okay. And as a therapist, I'm just like, how am I supposed to help people believe in the system? Believe that things will get better when now they food about to be taken away from them. Are we on day 19 or 20 of the global, well, not global, U.S. federal shutdown? And we are right before Thanksgiving,
Already
before the holidays,
from the get-go, you can tell,
and
whoa,
people
this is
are
gonna be
about
a
to
brilliant
lose
dumb
their
shit.
minds because so many people are dealing with food insecurity right now. Now, as a therapist, I want to talk about it, go over some of the videos I've been seeing all over TikTok and what this means, because we are already losing our minds. We're trying to keep it together. As a therapist, I'm trying to have the answers and convince people that hold on to hope.
I question where this woman got her therapy
I'm trying to give away hope. But every other week, Trump is letting me know he gonna make my job a lot harder.
Disturbing claim out of this
Okay,
whole thing.
if you are new here, I'm Denise Braid. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who loves reality TV, pop culture, and right now we gotta get into this crisis. What are some of these families gonna do?
The least qualified person.
And do people believe that it's mainly just Black families, people of color? There are lots of other people
this is how they spin
who
it
are on
out there.
food stamps, receiving federal assistance, SNAP benefits. And we're going to get into it from a therapist perspective. So I need y'all to hit that like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Okay, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching from work, let me know in the comments. Okay, come into the chat.
That I want to know. Huh? Maybe,
but what are
maybe
people going to do?
Start looking, is she
okay, what are people going to do
she board certified?
to survive?
Is she practicing this?
We are, 2 weeks away from November 1st? When the benefits are going to be shut down. Okay, let's get into it as a family right now. Let's discuss it.
But what y'all don't understand, right? Or what y'all ignorant about is that it's a lot of people who work a job every day, busting their ass, working 40 hours a week and still.
They're all just a bunch of stupid sons of bitches that need to get back to work. And if that woman's actually a real therapist, that and anything on that level, they should probably question taking away her ability to be given therapy if that's the kind of person she is. Like, I don't know, man. You can't be saying you're a family and marriage values and all that and then advocate, because food stamps is going away, you should act out and just do all these horrible things to these businesses because, F them and F the government. So XYZ corporation or mom and pop business, F them because, somehow they just keep justifying everything to another level. Well, now we can justify destroying these businesses because they're connected to the government in this weird roundabout unlogical way. And then we should hate this mom and pop business because they're connected to such and such and they supported this and they're part of this white supremacy. And it's like, it doesn't end. It doesn't end. It's all the same stupid shit all the time. Government can't fund certain things, and these TikTokers are just like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna fill my cart, I'm gonna walk out the door, and if anybody tries to stop me, I guess I'll just have to kill them. I'll just have to put the hurt on them. Really, like, everyone that says this, like, I wish they had some paparazzi following all these people out, some drone, because we just see them all getting arrested if they actually do what they claim they're going to do. But I would bet they're not even that tough. I don't think they're that tough. They just want to sit there and try to get a little attention, get some clickbait. Maybe I get some ad revenue since I can't get my EBT stamps that I'm going to abuse. You know, guy want to wine, you're going to spend the last of your shit to get candy, ramen, and mac and cheese and give it out on Halloween. Way to support yourself. Yeah, now you just helped out a whole bunch of other people that didn't even need it, more than likely. Yeah. With taxes. Good example. The people don't need it anyway. If that's what they're going to do with it because they're mad, then they don't need it. They didn't need it in the first place. Jobs. That's what they need. They need to learn. They never got spanked when they were kids. Nobody ever punched them in the mouth when they talked out of turn. You know, that's the problem with that. They're on my shit list. That's my shit list of the day, is the people complaining about the food stamp situation as if it's their freaking life support, because the people that really do need it are the ones that are making videos telling people how to make their cash dollars actually last. They explained how to go ahead with what you had left, still access to for this month, and stretch it into coming up. They're not out there advocating, hey, go just steal, resort to stealing. They're the ones saying, hey, they've got food pantries, they got these programs. So they're like, no, everybody else, that just uneducated thugs, they hop on the train. Yeah, I hope they get arrested. I hope they get arrested. I hope that not only have they lost food stamps, I hope they never get back on it. All those people that were abusing it, I think they need to really go through that process a little bit better. It's supposed to be a hand up, not a handout, not a freaking way to live off your entire life if you're able-bodied. If you actually are disabled in a way that prevents you from working, well, then that's what it's there for. Not because you're just some lazy piece of crap and you got it for a while, now you're not even going to go back and help yourself. You know, people never got grounded. They never got disciplined. This is what happens when we gave out participation trophies for things. Started letting people say, well, you know what, I'm not really a girl. I have tits and a vagina, but I'm really a guy. And we'll just play make-believe like we're on Mr. Rogers. And we're waiting for the invisible dildo to come out, you know. Thank you, but no thank you. One last little clip, because I just love anything, but here's what where the White House is standing on the Mamdani thing.
Statement. Peter.
Thank you, Caroline. Does President Trump want Zohran Mamdani deported?
I haven't heard him say that. I haven't heard him call for that. But certainly he does not want this individual to be elected. I was just speaking to him about it and his radical policies that will completely crush New York City, which is obviously a city that the president holds near and dear to his heart.
There's this Congressman, Andy Ogles. He wants the Attorney General Bondi to explore denaturalization proceedings because he thinks Mamdani could have misrepresented or concealed material support for terrorism based on rap lyrics he wrote in 2017. Does President Trump think this is a worthwhile use of the Attorney General's time?
Well, I'll let the president speak to that. I have not seen those claims, but surely if they are true, it's something that should be investigated.
And that's right, it should be investigated, but I think that one's probably a little bit outside the realm of what the Attorney General should be doing and all that. So, anyway.
Rocked by rape.
That's where we are for that.
Rocked by rape.
Rocked by rape. Tonight's winner for pure absurdity is Zohran Mamdani, because his mom said he's not even American. And the TikTokers that say they're going to loot if the welfare check is late. That's your 2025 political news distilled for tonight. And here's the deal. If you're for the people, you stand up. Not for the trend, not for the clip, not for the identity tag, not for the virtue. For strength, for truth, for America. If you like this, subscribe, smash that bell, share it with your people. We'll be back tomorrow. For the next time the news is important enough and messed up to where I gotta smoke it to get a good healthy dose. So you don't have to.
Criminal anti-government love triangle.
Have a good
Deeper and deeper into damage, even death. Anti-drug DEA, worldwide ban. Time for us to bug out. Rocked by rape. Rocked by rape.